This video will walk you through setting up your Webassign account, showing you where assignments are and what you need to do to complete assignments successfully. To get to Webassign, you can use the course link in Blackboard, or you can type in the URL www.webassign.net. Once you've reached the account homepage, or the Webassign homepage, you'll first need to access our course. If you go under the login information, you'll need to click the link, I have a class key. Here you'll need to enter our course code. Okay. Please take a moment to write this code down as you'll need it to access our course. Once you have the code, hit submit, and you should see a verification page that asks you to verify that you're in the Business Calculus section CDE with me at UAF. Go ahead and click yes, this is my class, and then you'll be taken to the account setup screen. Here you're going to have two different options. If you've used Webassign in the past, you can go down to the bottom and click I already have a Webassign account, enter your login information, and then continue. If you have never used Webassign before, you will need to create an account. Okay, so we'll click the first option and click continue. Okay. On this next page, you're going to be asked to enter some information to set up your account. Okay. You will be allowed to pick your username and your password. Okay. Here, please pick something that you're going to remember. Okay. I will not have access to your password, so please make sure you write it down or use one that you're going to remember. At the bottom, under student information, you're going to be asked to enter your first, last name, email address, and student ID number. Please make sure that this information is exactly as it appears in Blackboard. I'll say that again. Please make sure when you enter your first name, last name, email address, and student ID, it matches exactly what is listed in Blackboard. Okay. If your student information does not match the information in Blackboard, you will not get credit for your Webassign grades. The two systems need to be able to communicate and see that you are the same person in both systems. So make sure everything is exactly matched. Okay. Once you have entered all your information, go ahead and create your account. Okay. Once you click that button, you will then be taken to a verification page and if all looks well with your login information, you can verify and continue on. Once you have entered your login information and it's been verified, you will then be taken to the access page where you'll be given three options. Okay. The first option that you have is to purchase access online. Okay. If you have not already purchased your materials, then I would suggest using this access. Okay. So select the first option and click continue. For our course, we are using the Applied Calculus 5th edition by Warner and Constantinople. Okay. And you'll see that you've got two different options for your access. One is Lifetime of the Edition access to ebook and homework, and the other is Lifetime of Edition access to homework. The nice thing about the Lifetime of the Edition is as long as we are using this book at UAF, you will have access to Webassign. Okay, you'll just need to update the course ID each semester that we use the book. If you purchase the access with ebook and homework, you will also have access to the ebook online. Okay. If you just purchase the access to homework, obviously you're not going to have access to the ebook. If you do not want to purchase a textbook, I would recommend getting the access to ebook and homework, and everything you're going to need will be available to you online. Okay. Once you select your option, it'll give you your price, and then down at the bottom you can click checkout. It will then take you so apparently I can't purchase access, but once you click checkout, it will take you to the billing page where you can enter your credit card information and purchase the access for the course. Okay. The second option that you have for access is to enter an access code purchased with the textbook from the bookstore. Okay, so if you've already received your textbooks and you have your access code there, then you can purchase it this way. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is find your access code, and there should be an access code prefix listed on that access code. Okay, usually for the math textbooks, it's the Enhanced Webassign EWA Math or Math Combo or Math and Science. Okay, you'll need to look and see what your card says and then pick the correct prefix. Once you've entered the correct prefix, you'll be given 4 boxes so that you can enter the 20-character code that came with your access card. Okay, please enter this exactly. Once you've entered it, click continue, and again it will take you into a verification page and then into our course homepage. Okay. The third option that is available is to continue your trial. Okay. Usually the trial period lasts for about 14 days, and once you've selected this option, it should take you to the course homepage. Okay. If you are using the trial, please make sure that you purchase your ebook or your Webassign access prior to the last day of your trial, and that you enter your access code before that trial ends. If you don't purchase that before it ends, all of the coursework that you've done in there will not be accessible after that trial ends. And of course, you will likely not get your grade for the course. Okay. Now that you have access to the course, this is the home page that you'll usually see. Okay. Up in the upper right corner, you'll see usually your name and which course this is, and of course, University of Alaska Fairbanks. In this case, since I'm an instructor looking in, it has my name, tells me I'm the instructor for this course, and of course, University of Alaska Fairbanks. On the left side, under that first column of menus, you'll see the My Assignments, the Communication, and the Grades. Okay, the only 2 that we'll likely use for this course are the My Assignments and the Grades. Okay, the My Assignments is where you're going to find all of your quizzes for this course. Basically for Webassign, that's mostly what we're going to be using for is the quizzes. But also, as I mentioned in the exam intro, the first exam, which is your prerequisite test, is also on Webassign. Okay, and so you'll notice on here there's a couple quizzes available. It tells you when they are due. Notice all of your quizzes are due by 5 p.m. on their due date. If I log into one of the quizzes, what you'll see is a couple of things. So the first thing you'll notice is up at the top, it'll tell you which section the quiz is covering. It'll tell you again the due dates. It'll tell you how many problems there are. All of your quizzes are 5 problems, so a total of 5 points. Okay. And then underneath that, it's a brief description and the instructions. So the description just basically gives you the topics that are going to be covered in that quiz. The instructions are basically, again, there are 5 problems. You will have 3 attempts at each problem. Okay. Now, within the quiz, each of your 5 problems, you'll see a couple of things. So the first is, of course, the problem, the answer box. Over to the right, you're going to see a little code here, WANE AC5 3.1.007. Each problem in your quiz is associated with a code. Those codes correspond to problems in the textbook. Okay, so the numbers may not be exactly the same, but if you get stuck and you want some further resources other than the ones that they have listed there under the Need Help, you can always go to your textbook and look at the problems there. And oftentimes these are going to be odd, so you can look in the back for solutions. Okay. When entering your answers, once you've clicked in a text box, you'll notice you'll get 3 options at the bottom of that problem. Submit your answer, save your progress, or practice another version. Okay. Obviously, once you submit your answer, that will account as one of your attempts for the problem. If a problem has multiple parts, so for example, if I look at this problem here, I notice it has multiple parts. Each time you enter something, you can submit, but each submission still counts as an attempt. So I would recommend submitting all the answers, seeing which ones you got right or wrong, and then fixing all of them before you submit again. That way you only use 2 attempts as opposed to, in this case, all 3 of them by submitting one at a time. Okay. Another thing you should notice is in some cases when you put your cursor in one of the answer boxes, you'll get the little calc pad that pops up. Okay. In some cases, it doesn't pop up. So for example, if I click in that first box, notice it disappears. All that means is for those where it doesn't pop up, you should not need any mathematical symbols or mathematical notation. You should be able to just type in a numerical answer. For the ones where it pops up, you may need to use some of your math symbols. So fractions, exponents, logarithms, infinity, some of your function notation, or your set notation. Okay. Most of the other ones we probably won't use in this class. So for example, trigonometry, vectors, relations, a lot of that we probably won't use in this class. Okay. Once you've completed your quiz, and I should say that the quizzes shouldn't take more than half an hour apiece. Some of them will take you a lot less. Some may take more, but if you find you're spending consistently more than half an hour on a quiz, you should go back and reread the material, relook at the practice problems, and then come back in and try the Webassign again. Okay. Now, your prerequisite test is very similar. So notice the first difference is when I go to enter the prerequisite test, I'm going to get this little assignment restriction box. It tells you that this is a timed assignment, and when you open it, you'll have 2 hours to complete the assignment. The time will be displayed in the upper right corner. If you don't have the time to spend on this, don't click continue. You will have the option of going out and coming back in, but your time will elapse on there. So notice here when I log in the upper right corner, there's a little clock counting down for me. Okay. The other thing you should notice is instead of the 5 problems, this is 20 questions. Okay. You will have 2 attempts at this pretest. Unfortunately, unlike your quizzes, you have to complete the entire pretest before you can have another attempt at it. So once you enter an answer and you submit it, that answer is set, whether it's right or wrong. Once you're done the submission, so once you've completed all 20 problems and you've submitted your answers, you'll be able to see your score. If you don't like your score, you can try the test again. I would encourage you to go through the problems in chapter 0s 1 and 2, which is all prerequisite material. Make sure you understand all of that before you attempt your pretest. Again, the due date is listed on there. Your attempts, again, you have multiple attempts for the test. They need to be done before the due date. Okay. Once you've completed your assignments, so any quizzes, the pretest, anything, they'll be listed under the grades section. Okay. The nice thing about this is once you've got grades listed in there, you can click on the grade. It will take you back to the assignment, show you the correct answers to all of the problems. So if you didn't get a 5 out of 5, or on the pretest, you've got a 10 out of 20 or whatever you got out of there, you can go back in and see which ones you got right and wrong and what the correct answer is. On the left side, or sorry, the right side of the screen, probably the only thing we'll be using there is your About the Class. So you'll notice under About the Class it has a copy of our textbook. Notice it does look a little different if you bought the customized version from the bookstore, but it's still the same text. If you look to the left there, there are links to your ebook. So that very first one, if I click on that, it's going to take me to the ebook. And you'll see it takes a little bit of time to load it, but I can pull up sections of the book. You can make notes in here. You can highlight sections. You can add things in. So any questions or comments that you want to make in your text, you can do it on this ebook. At this point, you should be pretty well set to get into your Webassign and access all of your materials for this course. If you have questions, again, feel free to email me, but I would recommend going ahead and logging in and make sure that you can get in there and get started on your assignments.